Hi there. You called for this. Yes, you called for this. And guess who we have on our podcast today? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read something to him. The first comment is, lest I forget, please, we are waiting for one man on your podcast, Coach Christopher Nimley. Another comment says that, when are you bringing Coach Christopher Nimley? I just can't wait to hear him. Another comment, great analysis, Daniki and Sicho. Amazing content. When are we seeing Coach Christopher Nimley? Please, one day, invite Coach Christopher Nimley. Then the next one, Kwame, next time, bring Coach Christopher Nimley onto the podcast. Guess who we have on the podcast today? Coach Christopher Nimley. Coach, the people have been calling for you, and finally you are here with us. What an amazing time. You're welcome, Coach.
I'm most grateful to all those who've been asking of me, who've been calling of me to join the podcast. To be honest with you, I've been informed of this, but of late, the way the team has been managed for the past 13 to 14 years, for those of us who are born, bred Manchester United supporters, it's something that has become very difficult to accept and to take, because such a wonderful team, beautiful team, a team with the most support base worldwide, cannot be used for just money. This team will have to perform on the pitch, and for some of us, we came to love this team because of the way it was performing on the pitch. I'm a supporter. Yes, I do care about the image and the brand of the team.
Yeah.
But all those things can only get better if and only if on the pitch is full of success. We are not saying we should seem to be winning every time and then season after season.
Yeah.
But we should be in and among the very competitors, and if possible, we should be winning some trophies. Eric Ten Hag in the last 2 years, to some extent, has brought some smiles back onto the numerous supporters of Manchester United. So that is understood. So I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you here. It's great to have you here. So guys, you have Coach Nimley with us right now today on the podcast. Kwame, it's great to have Coach on the podcast. Kwame, I hope you are doing very well.
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic start to the season. So I'm doing all right.
Great. So the last time, if you've not watched our last episode where we analyzed the game against Fulham, we've done that. But let me get to Coach. Coach, first game, first win. Generally, what was your impression from the first game? What did you make of the performance of the team?
You see, one thing that is certain, and if you're a Manchester United supporter, one thing that you shouldn't accept is the level of performance of the team last season.
Yeah.
Everybody within the team, including the least ranked member, has come to accept the basic fact that last season cannot be repeated. This team will have to find a way to be in and among the competitors for the league. United, by their very high standards, should be seen competing for every major titles. And the best way to do that is to find a way of winning your games even when you are not ready.
Sure.
I believe very well that before the league started last week, Eric Ten Hag made a statement that said that his team is not ready. And most people misunderstood him for that. But as a technical man, as a coach myself, I know how long it would take every team in the league for them to be ready. I think every team will be very ready after the first 5 games. So if you can manage to win your games when you are not ready, like they did last week when they were not ready, when Fulham were not ready, when Man City, Chelsea, nobody is ready. But those who are able to win their games have added some form of advantage to their points. And I believe that the performance against Fulham was not that blistering, but every single Manchester United supporter can remember what happened to the team last season in that first game against Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
The manner in which the team was completely destroyed. The only thing that was missing from the good works of Wolves is that they failed to beat Manchester United. Manchester United from an unlikely source, from open play, scored a goal from Rafael Varane.
Yeah.
So on last week, Friday, some of us were hoping to see what would be the different things that Eric Ten Hag will get the boys to do. And I believe it was a much more improved performance from the first game of last season. But clearly, there are still issues that need to be addressed to get this team to compete. Because the standard that the blue side of Manchester have set, if you really want to match up that standard and the demands, then so many things will have to be done right. And I'm very sure that as we go through the podcast, my view on what needs to be done right to make sure this team becomes very competitive and everybody sees Manchester United as a direct competitor for the league title, we brought on the floor for us to discuss today.
All right. Okay.
So it was a good win. My initial impression.
Good win. Good win. Kwame, let me quickly get to you briefly before I get to Coach. Now, Coach made mention of what we need to do to get our team back to the fore to compete against the blue side of Manchester. But the signings, we've already had 4 signings, and news has it that we are getting very close with respect to the signing of Manuel Ugarte from PSG. It looks as if the grounds is softening a bit. PSG is trying to come to a compromise, and I'm sure United will also try and meet them halfway with regards to that. How much of an impact do you think Ugarte coming in would help United get to the next level? Briefly.
All right, so clearly we are short in midfield. We are not just short in midfield in terms of numbers, but I'm sure quality-wise we also lack a little bit, especially in defensive midfield. We lost Sofian Amrabat, we didn't re-sign him. And so we just have one specialist defensive midfielder in an aging Casemiro, whom has been much maligned even before a ball was kicked this season. But then he got off to a pretty good start against Fulham. And all of a sudden, people are saying, are we going to get the first season Casemiro back? Whether we do get the first season Casemiro back or not, we still need another body in there. Yeah. Somebody who wouldn't just be a backup to Casemiro as Sofian Amrabat was last season, but somebody who could potentially start in place of Casemiro. Ineos have gone young. They want this team to be young, to be vibrant, to be quick, to be whatever a very good United team used to be before. And if we want to do that, we need legs in midfield. I think what Ugarte offers us is legs in midfield. He's somebody that can play instead of Casemiro or with Casemiro, an absolute necessity. But I would like to know what Coach makes of this whole market from the very start, because a lot of people.
That's where I'm going.
A lot of people have been skeptical about the impacts that Ineos can make in their first season. So I'd like to know from Coach the kind of impression he's gotten from Ineos so far with respect to the kind of signings that they've made, and if they can make the significant impact that he speaks of.
Okay, so Manchester United transfers had to be done in 2 ways. In order to bring this team back to the level deserving of it, I think so. Certain players have overstayed their presence in the team, and they needed to be shipped out of the team. The likes of Lindelof, the likes of Maguire, the likes of Wan-Bissaka, the likes of Scott McTominay, Eriksen, Jadon Sancho. I think these are players that need to be shipped out. Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, they've been around. McTominay, for example, he was a Jose Mourinho revelation. He's not going to get better as a footballer. Maguire is not going to become a world-class player. Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, rightfully, he's been sold. Jadon Sancho, his mentality, he's a very good player, but that Manchester United attitude and mentality deserving to be in such team, he doesn't want it. He's the sort of player who hates competition. He thinks when the coach is benching him, it's because of what? Favoritism. And since the days of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bought him. I can count the number of good games he's played for Manchester United for close to 3 years. And for a player who is on that amount of money every week is unacceptable. So in terms of the transfer window, 2 parts. After the incomings, if they can get Manuel Ugarte, hopefully from the way we are hearing things, by tomorrow there should be a here we go.
Yeah.
If they can get Manuel Ugarte, then Ugarte, Delete, Lenny Yoro, Zegzi, Mazwari, I would say I'll give them slightly 6.5 over 10.
Hey,
I would have given them 7. If and only if. Yeah, I'll give them 6.5 over 10. Because there's a peculiar problem that they've not addressed. That is the problem at left. That is the problem at left back. And if you look at the number of times Eric Ten Hag complained about the lack of a proper left back in our team due to the injuries to Luke Shaw and Malacia, I think if you're a new owner and you've got cash, you should have bought that proper left back. A left back that will not be used sparingly. So, but somebody who will be good enough, if not better than Luke Shaw, to come and own the position and make the team a solid team. Right now, we know with Dallo and Mazwari, there's going to be proper competition at right back. And that is what you have in Man City. Every position have got 2 very good players in them. So one player, if one player is not around and the other is, the standard never drops.
That's true.
So if they bring in Manuel Ugarte, then my grading will be 6.5 over 10. Without Ugarte, I was grading them 5.5 over 10. So if they bring in Ugarte, then in terms of incomings, they need to get a left back. They should do everything practically possible to get a left back. And they should not be we are hearing Ben Chilwell, Alonso. No, these people, their teams, they don't have football team. As we speak now, Chilwell doesn't have a team. Chelsea have sacked him. Man United should be going for a Chelsea reject. No. We are bigger than them. We are better than them. So we don't need to be going in for their reject. So therefore, they should go. Ineos will have to get in proper left back. If they get a proper left back, then it becomes a 7.5 over. Then depending on the outgoings. If you look at those they are shipping out, they just ship out Pelistri. He's a young player. I don't think he's been given equal opportunity to prove himself. Mason Greenwood left. We all know the circumstance under which he left. He's a very good player, but for what had happened, he would have still been a United player by now.
That's true.
Van der Beek left. He had to go. Wan-Bissaka, he had to go. He's left. So the likes of Eriksen, the likes of Lindelof, the likes of McTominay. I don't know why Manchester United refused 20 plus 5 million in add-ons for Scott McTominay. Because nobody sees him good enough for a 30 million pound player. That should tell you this is a player who came to the rescue of Man United. I don't know whether he scored 10 Premier League goals or 10 goals in all competition last season. Nobody's ready to give us 30 million pounds for him. It should tell you that the standard of the player is not what is required. He will not walk, he will not even sit on the bench of Man City, of Liverpool, of Arsenal, of Aston Villa. These are our direct competitors, things that we need to battle with if we say we want to reclaim our glory days back. These are the things we need to battle with. So the people at United, if you look at the player like Delete on his day can go into that Manchester City defense and have a stake there. He can go to Liverpool. I believe a proper Delete is better than Konate. A proper Delete is better than Kwanzaa. He can make a claim. We all know the quality of Martinez. Pep Guardiola is on record to have said that he's among the best 5 centre-back in the world. So if Pep Guardiola can make that statement about that Manchester United player, it speaks volume of how good the player is. Can we say the same thing for Dallo? Dallo, we know, has become better, was getting better week, match after match. If Luke Shaw is fit and is playing regularly, he walks into that Manchester City team as their first left back. He's better than whoever they have there as the left back. That is the sort of thing we should be doing together. Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne is on record to have said that if he's to pick his team in the league, he will pick Bruno Fernandes all day. It speaks volumes of the quality of the player.
That's true.
So if you want to drone the pace setters, you need to have players who are capable of walking into their team, who are capable of going into their team and giving Pep Guardiola headaches that, look, I can pick Bruno if I don't have Kevin De Bruyne and the standard will be the same. That is how you dethrone them.
That's true.
If possible, you get players who are even better than their players. But we don't have the money to do so now. So when you ask me about in terms of signings, get Ugarte 6.5 over 10. Get a proper left back, not a makeshift left back, not a left back who will be there when Luke Shaw comes for me today, come and brush him away. No, I want a left back who, when Luke Shaw is fit, will keep him on the bench, get him to fight for his position. Because look, the battle at right back is going to be very, very interesting between Dalot and Mazwari. That is good because look, Dalot has played lots of football. Some time back, he was very injury prone. So we need to protect him. And I think the acquisition of Mazwari will give Dalot some time to rest. Manchester United over the season will play close to 55, 65 games.
That's true.
Depending on how far they go in the FA Cup, how far they go in the Carabao Cup, how far they go in the Europa Cup. Already there are 38 games to be played already in the league. That is guaranteed. How far they progress in the FA Cup will give them more games. Europa Cup, Carling Cup will give them more games. And of course, the Europa Cup. So you may end up playing close to 60, 65 games in the season. So you need depth. Depth is not, the depth shouldn't be like any depth at all. There should be quality in depth. That's the way we say it. There should be quality in depth so that when player A is not there and player B comes, the level, the standard will not drop. So that is my view on when it comes to signings. When it comes to the transfer market, it's about coming in and going out. The coming in has looked very beautiful. Zegzi, the Yeni Leo, I think he's going to be a fantastic defender at his age and the quality of his football. He can only grow into put them a little bit of weight, good arms, good upper body strength, then he'll be ready to dominate. Right now, he's still very light, but you put him on the proper diet to open him up. If you know Elite, the way he was looking 6-7 years ago at Ajax, you see that he's gained some proper upper body strength. Every defender needs that. You need to be very strong upper to balance yourself well when it comes to your lower body orientation. So he will be good. Mazwari, you see, if you are bad, you don't play for Bayern Munich. If you're not a good player, you don't play for Bayern Munich.
Yes.
So it speaks volumes. Delete. Most people are saying it worked out for him at Bayern Munich. There were issues between him and the coach at Bayern Munich. But even that, he played over 80% of their games. Yeah. That is fact. Nobody can dispute that. So you cannot say he was a failure at Bayern Munich. Yeah. At Juventus, he was not a failure. He was actually among the best defenders in Juve. Juve at the time told him that they were going to allow him to take over from Chiellini, but they didn't allow that to happen. But he played a lot of games. He was that bad. Juve at the time was in need of money, and they saw him as the only player they could sell to bring in some good. They sold for 70 million euros to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich wouldn't buy a flop for 70 million.
That's true.
So he has never been a flop anywhere he's been. And everybody will see settle that high line. Sort of a high pressing game that Eric Ten Hag wants to play, that the likes of Maguire and Lindelof would just not allow us to play. With Dalot, Mazwari, Delete, Martinez, Ugarte, I think that back five with Onana playing the sweeper role, United can only go and compete with the best.
It's set. Everything's set.
At least from the back, it is properly set. Yeah. And we are now going to see the best of Onana. Believe you me. Yeah. We see the best of the Cameroonian. He's a very good goalkeeper. Yeah. But it's because those Maguire and co are not used to him, and they
size 50 man at the back
in the ball. He cannot run. He's terribly slow. When he's been drive forward, he knows that when he goes forward and the ball is put behind him, he's going to struggle. But once this settles down, I expect him to start this lunchtime against Brighton. It's going to be a very difficult game.
Yeah. Let's zoom let's zoom straight into the game against Brighton. While we go ahead.
Yeah. So you see, to be honest with you, I would have loved to have Ugarte in by now, where he would have trained. If he had come around the same time of Delete and Mazwari, then clearly I can boldly say that we'll beat Brighton.
Yeah.
Because you see, the style of play they are playing, we will not go toe-to-toe with them. We cannot go toe-to-toe with them with Casemiro, Menu, and then Mason Mount in the middle. I don't know what Eric Ten Hag will do. If I still don't think Zexi is ready. Because he's not ready, I'm going to he will have to start with the same. What I will do, I will bench Mason Mount and push Rashford to go and play in the middle and start the game with Garnacho and Ahmad on both sides of the flank. But I'm not part of those training with them. But if they were all fit, that is what I will do. But I'm not sure he will do that. He will stick to those he started with. But you see, Bruno as a first 9 will work. But if you are playing against a team like Brighton, who like to suffocate, who like to press high up the pitch, we should get somebody who can pick the pass for our very pacey players to go and punish. That is Rashford, of course, Garnacho, and of course, Ahmad. Mason Mount in that anchor role, when he picks the ball from Casemiro or Kobe Meno, can he see the pass? Can he see the Bruno pass? He's now getting back to his best years. During his days at Chelsea, I'll have no doubt he will see the pass. We saw him do that in the Champions League, that Chelsea when he picked the pass to Kai Havertz for them to beat Man City in that Champions League final. But because he's not played regular for some time, he's forgotten the basic rudiment of a number 10. So if Zexi can give us, if Zexi is not fit, if Garnacho can play at least 70 minutes, I will start Garnacho and put Rashford to them and withdraw Bruno Fernandes so that he will pick the pass from. Because what Casemiro and Kobe Menu cannot do is to vacate that holding role position. When we beat Brighton last at home, at their home, 2-0, we had Amrabat and Kobe Menu. They stayed very close to each other. And Bruno also dropped in with them. That game, Rasmus Højlund, if you remember, didn't start. He came on and then he came and punished them. He played with the false 9. Ten Hag will have to do something similar today. On Saturday. False 9 to have more men in the middle. Because Brighton tend to suffocate the opponent in the middle of the park. That was what they did to Everton over the weekend, and they blew them away. What I want to do is to get them. You see, the reason why this team will have to improve is the manner in which we've done turnovers. There's been so many turnovers. When I say turnovers, the rate at which we tend to lose the ball is alarming. That's why Delete will have to start. That's why Mazwari will have to start. That was one thing that Wan-Bissaka was not given. In Mazwari, we can keep the ball. In Delete, we can pass the ball. In Martinez, we can pass the ball. In Dallo, we can pass. A player that I'm hoping will be very calm in possession is Casemiro. Because he's become terribly slow, he's always in a haste to get rid of the ball. If he does that and he doesn't pick the pass, he's going to lose a lot of the ball. Once he does that, we are going to be under serious pressure. We beat them the 2-0 last season. The truth be told, by the time we scored those 2 goals, they should have been out of sight. They should have led us by 4 or 5 goals based on the chances they created. We cannot allow them to create that number of chances. It's a new coach in there. He started very well. New coach bounce. We need to guide against that. They will up the tempo. We need to slow the tempo. There are times where you'll be a bit physical. That's why I'm happy that I want Delete to start, Martinez to start. These 2 guys, when you want to misbehave around them, they tend to hit you hard to remind you that they are dead. Their presence will have to be felt. If we can use the ball judiciously, if we can use the ball in a way that will compel them to work for it when they don't have it, then we'll begin to respect our team. But if there's a lot of turnovers, when we win the ball, they come at us and they will give the ball back to them. then we are going to be in serious, serious trouble. And these are things that, personally, as a coach, you don't blame a coach for. If a player is unable to pass the ball, if he's unable to control and pass, keep possession, you don't blame the coach for that. It means the players are that bad. That is one of my biggest problem I've had with Scott McTominay over the years. He cannot receive and pass. And in midfield, if you don't have that quality, you have no business being in midfield. So it's a very difficult game. Every Man United supporter should be worried. Brighton have shown over the years that they are good starters to the league. They tend to start the league very, very well. Then going to the middle, then they begin to falter. They started very well against Everton away from home. We cannot afford to lose. Our next game after them is against Liverpool. At Old Trafford, a game that could go either way. And I believe strongly, knowing Manchester United for their tradition, if we can beat Brighton, we'll beat Liverpool the following weekend. Because then we would have established a certain belief, a certain confidence level that, hey, we've gotten 6 out of 6. So let's go make it 9 against our bitterest rival. So if we can beat Brighton on Saturday, you can go and place your last bet on it. Beat Liverpool the following weekend.
Coach, fantastic. Coach has really broken down. See, you wanted coach, you have coach for yourself. You see how great coach has analyzed the whole system, the whole game, and everything for us. Coach, we are so grateful for your time. Our time is up for today. We wish that in the course of the season, we would have you for a longer session where we can have a very extensive discussion around the team and all of that. So coach has given us his word. He will come back on the podcast. We arrange for Coach and Danny K and Danny Citro to also join us together. So we have a big podcast here on United and everything football. Coach, once again, thank you so much.
Those people, Danny K and Citro and Co, they are anti-Ten Hag. Don't mind them. We've always been fighting over that. How do you sack a coach? Don't sack such a coach. You have to keep the coach.
You have to keep the coach.
They are anti-Ten Hag.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. We are so much grateful for your time with us. All right. Bobby.
I just want to add one thing. Coach never left. It's clear you never left, because people have been saying after the events of last year, you abandoned the team. You did? We did clarification.
I left, to be honest with you. You see, I am not completely back. I'm not completely back, because look, me, I'm used to winning. That's not to say I'm a bad loser. No, I'm not a bad loser. When I deserve to lose, I then this one that deserve to lose. But this team, the manner in which the Glazers have mismanaged this team. I mean, look, it's legendary. It's done. They have just bought the team and they are making money. We don't care about the money. Ours is about what goes on the pitch. This team is in debt, serious debt. And for me, that is the problem I had with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He doesn't have the money to buy this team. Anybody who liaises with the Glazers to keep them glued to this team and continue to rip money from this team, that person, I believe, is an enemy of the club. I'm not going to take that back. For the fact that Ineos could liaise with the Glazers and get them to stay on board, I would have preferred Ineos buying the entire team and getting rid of the Glazers, for them to run their own business and see this team as both a footballing team and a business merchandise for which you can make your money and give those of us who are concerned with performances on the pitch, performance on the pitch. So I want to see what they will do, and we'll see the way forward.
All right, Coach. Coach, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll have another time with Coach in the course of the season. So remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We'll be back after the game against Brighton to discuss the post game. Myself and Kwame will be here to give you all the analysis. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye-bye.